And here tonight, everybody, right now live on the WHAS 1119. That flag is flying pretty strong in the winds. You're looking at a very cold city tonight. We've got dropping temperatures on the way tonight. And when you wake up in the morning, well, it's going to feel like winter. We've also got some snow showers still in our weather impact forecast. Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt, along with Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine. So, Ben, now you can zero in when we may actually see our really first snow flurries of the season coming out of the sky.
A matter of hours from your precious snowflakes here, Doug.
It's about time.
Yeah, our first of the season. It is about time. It is later than usual. Typically, we'll see our first flurries right around mid-November, November 15th, so a little bit later than usual. Here's a look at Max HD radar and satellites showing some of the snow showers that switch over from kind of some drizzle and sprinkles over to snow around Chicago, northern Illinois, up into Iowa. So that activity heading our direction, and those cold winter-like winds as well. We're going to start off with wind chills down around freezing tomorrow morning, and notice that switch to that chance of some flurries, especially along and north of Interstate 64 here as we head through around sunrise tomorrow morning. Get a little break later in the morning, early afternoon. Then the second batch could bring a more widespread snow to the area. Now we might see some light accumulation on elevated surfaces, some light rooftop dustings out there, but the roads look like they'll be in good shape as the air and the ground temperatures will be above freezing. So kind of a wet melting snow for tomorrow evening. The bigger impact, I think, is just we need to bundle up. Look at the wind chills here in the freezing temperatures, yes, but even below freezing around the mid-20s in southern Indiana. And it gets even worse a little bit later in the day. This is the afternoon wind chills in the 20s. So again, bundle up out there. Starting to get it cooler in the 40s. So weather impact alert for tomorrow. Yeah, wintry mix. Roads could be a little bit damp at times, but that bigger impact, as we mentioned, some wicked wind chills out there. So we'll need those warm coats, especially for the kiddos out at the bus stop the next couple of mornings. More cold on the way for Friday. We'll cover it in a lot more detail coming up in our weather impact team full forecast.
My apartment is condemned. It's no longer livable. Everything that was in the apartment has been destroyed.
All new right now on the WHAS 1119 tonight, a resident in the Clifton neighborhood still dealing with the impact of last Tuesday's fatal explosion at the Givaudan plant. Left without a home and looking for the company to help them out. Well, tonight was the second time that the Givaudan company representatives actually showed up in person, made themselves available for one-on-one help. It is something the neighbors have been demanding since the fatal explosion damaged their homes and businesses. WHAS 1119's Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Aspen Hester asked residents if this approach was working.
And we're homeless. We've been homeless for 7 days now.
An apartment on Payne Street condemned by the massive Givaudan plant explosion more than a week ago.
It's been tough.
A family of 4 left without a home.
I don't feel like everything is being done that should be done.
Frustration still lingering for impacted residents like Shelby Dix.
You should have been done called us 3 days in. I understand that there's other things going on, people got killed, but we also have a lifestyle and a life to live as well. So I just feel like they could be doing a little bit more.
Hoping to get answers from company representatives.
We are working a day at a time.
Former Givaudan president Elaine Gravad, who still works for the company, is one of 2 company representatives meeting with neighbors one-on-one, doing insurance assessments, sharing mental health resources, handing out gift cards.
We are certainly trying to focus energies on the folks who have been the most impacted, obviously, that are displaced, and making sure that they are either in a place that they are comfortable or that we get them to a place where they can be.
An effort well received by some neighbors.
They communicate well, you know, they tell us keep up with other expenses, and they seem to have our back and our coverage.
That we have someone that cares. They heard our requests, they heard our wants, and this is a pliable reaction to those wants, because until you speak up and say what you need to the right individuals, you're not going to get any results.
While others are wanting more.
I don't need you to try, I need you to do.
Givaudan representatives will return here to United Crescent Hill Ministries on Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. and then on Saturday from 10 in the morning to noon.
And that was specific. We were asked to try to sort of vary the times to give people an opportunity to get to us. So we're trying to be accessible in that way.
WHAS 11 was there the first 2 days, watching dozens of residents walk in with questions and uncertainty.
There was some confidence that we have some people that are actually willing to help this community.
Hoping to walk out with answers. In Clifton, Alex Dieterer, the WHAS 11 night team on your side.
So here's the schedule once again that we talked about. Again, no office hours tomorrow, and that has been pre-planned. Again, they will be back and do this again on Friday and Saturday of this week in Clifton. You can see the times right now on your screen. Again, Friday 3 to 5, Saturday 10 to noon. Please bring your ID, we are told, if you want to attend, with proof of your Clifton address. Again, it's being held at the United Crescent Hill Ministries building on South State Street. Right here new tonight, one Metro police officer is out of surgery. The second is out of the hospital after both were shot during an arrest in the Smoketown neighborhood last night. We brought it to you as breaking news last night right here on the WHAS 11 night team. Now, officers Laxman Acharya and Brendan Kerner were shot while wrestling over a gun with a suspect. Here on the left, Officer Acharya took a bullet to the left leg near the knee. On the right, Officer Brendan Kerner required surgery for the gunshot wound on his right hand. 19-year-old Jeremiah Thompson was accused of stealing a car. Officers went to Rose Lane Street. This is 3 blocks south of East Broadway after receiving a tip that a stolen Kia with a shattered window was out on the street. Police say he fired a gun as they held the suspected car thief right to the ground.
I'm really encouraged that officers are going out and doing that work, and I would expect that they're going to do more of it.
Booked at the Louisville jail, Thompson was still in his hospital gown after receiving medical treatment for his bullet wound at Jewish Hospital. And today, in a rare joint live interview, Mayor Craig Greenberg and Chief Paul Humphrey appeared with us right here on WHAS 11 News at 5:30. The chief wants his officers out there face-to-face with the community, as you heard him say. It's part of their new strategic plan to focus officers on proactive policing and letting the numbers guide them.
I want to work with the rest of government and community partners to not just deal with a violent crime, but what are those environmental factors, what are those social factors that go into the drivers of violent crime? And we don't solve a lot of those problems, the police don't, but we're the first contact between the community member and a resource. And so our ability to act as the liaison between that community member and that resource is going to be how we solve problems.
As you can see here, the new initiative is focused on Broadway, Park Hill, Douglas Park, and more in blighted areas. He said this plan will get officers on the same page so they can get back to the proactive policing, stopping crimes before they happen. I also asked Louisville Mayor about the Department of Justice consent decree, which will oversee the police department. The mayor has said recently it was going to be wrapped up by Thanksgiving.
We know that there are questions about timing, particularly with the last election. We're continuing to move forward regardless of who is in what seats. We want to have a consent decree, and so we continue to negotiate with the Department of Justice.
The mayor said taking care of blighted areas and replacing lights in certain neighborhoods will help identify and reduce violence. Jefferson County is one of 12 counties undergoing an election audit after the big mess on Election Day here in Metro Louisville. The audit turning heads considering the issues we had earlier this month with those long wait times and even a last-second effort in front of Judge Eric Hayner to extend voting hours past 6 right on election night. The judge denied it. WHAS 11 9 Team's Clarice Shaley found a poll worker from Election Day. And Clarice, what do they think about this audit?
Well, long lines on Election Day are not the norm in Jefferson County. That's what a poll worker told me today. She's hoping this audit will ensure trust in voters that this will not happen again.
Now the fun begins.
In a random drawing,
Jefferson County
is selected for a post-election audit. There's an awkward exchange, maybe because of the amount of reports the Attorney General's office received from the county this year.
It's especially important that we conduct, though, our investigation in Jefferson County. On Election Day, our election fraud hotline received more than 150 complaints. That is 150 complaints from Jefferson County alone.
On Election Day, lines wrapped polling locations, but not in a good way. The clerk said their electric poll books were updating slower than normal due to the large number of absentee ballots. Some voters had to choose whether to come back or not vote at all. Now, nearly 3 weeks later, we found poll worker Rosalind Welch.
I think it is needed.
Welch has plenty of election cycles under her belt.
It's almost as if fate wanted us to be audited with what happened.
She was just as frustrated with the lines as voters.
We were literally pushing people through one at a time where it was like, I could check in one person, the entire system would crash. I would have to reboot the entire piece back up. and then I would be able to check in the next person.
County Clerk Bobby Holtzclaw has previously taken responsibility for the issues. She was not available to speak, but her office sent a statement reading in part, quote, "We appreciate the Attorney General's audit. It presents a valuable opportunity to demonstrate to the voters of Jefferson County that we are committed to safeguarding the integrity of elections while delivering transparency."
So I think that's what we want to change. We want it to be more transparent. We want some accountability to it, but we want to make sure this never happens again.
Holtzclaw's office also says they're dedicated to implementing any recommendations to improve their processes. Welch says this audit will give the office and Board of Elections the tools to fix the situation. She says we have all of the full year of 2025 to get it right, and hopefully the office works to do so.
Clarice, thank you. Happening tonight in Louisville, aspiring future business owners showed up to Indiana University Southeast in the New Albany area tonight to pitch their ideas for the next big thing in hopes of going home with some seed money to do it. It's all inspired by the ABC show called Shark Tank with a panel of experts and mentors. The top prize is $20,000 to jumpstart the idea. They had 17 entrepreneurs apply for the contest, and they narrowed it down to 7 of the best ideas. Mike Fulkerson says this program helps launch new local businesses.
It's not easy to stand up there in front of people and pitch an idea that you have kept to yourself probably till this point, but to see them get up there is fantastic. And entrepreneurship, just plain and simple, should be celebrated. It's the backbone of our communities, and it deserves our support.
Some of the pitches included Hoosier Handlebars, an electric bike service, and a men's networking group.